evening. Now the latest news and sport from Central in the East Midlands. A murder inquiry is underway after the discovery of a woman's body in a pub. The body was found lying in a room at the White Lion pub in the town centre of Retford in Nottinghamshire. It's believed the woman was the landlady of the pub. Police will not confirm details of how she died. A man is assisting detectives with their inquiries and is being held at Retford Police Station. The Rolls-Royce decision to invest millions of pounds in a new aero-engine plant in East Germany has been condemned by unions and a local Euro MP. The news comes at a time when the workforce is fighting the loss of 6,000 jobs at the company's British plants.
More than a third of the proposed job losses are at plants in Derby and Leicestershire. Today's announcement to build a new plant near Berlin as a joint venture with car giants BMW is expected to create 1,000 new jobs in Germany. The plan has also angered the Euro MP, who has 2 Rolls factories in her constituency.
The skill, the expertise of Rolls-Royce workers, who are the most well-trained and highly skilled in the country, that is what's built that company up. For them now to make plans on a multinational scale that places no heed, no care to the future well-being of those who built up the wealth of Rolls-Royce is not right.
But a spokesman for Rolls-Royce says they need to expand internationally to ensure the long-term prosperity of the company.
A giant laboratory rabbit mingled with shoppers in a busy city centre today. She's part of a campaign aimed at highlighting cruelty to animals in research experiments.
The rabbit, nicknamed Vanity, is touring cities across the country as part of a protest run by anti-vivisectionists. Today she was in Leicester to drum up support among shoppers and young children.
Vanity, the 6-foot white rabbit, represents all the animals that die in cosmetics tests throughout Europe, which is a total of about 50,000. And she carries the scars or the marks of 3 different tests commonly used for testing cosmetics ingredients and products.
The rabbit's costume was designed by makers of the TV show Spitting Image. The hope is politicians in Europe will ban the use of any animal in tests for toiletries and cosmetics.
Well, now on to this afternoon's sports news, and we start for the last time this season with football. Notts County's players have set off for Wembley for their promotion playoff final against Brighton tomorrow. For the winners, the prize is a place in the First Division. A final training session and a fairly relaxed atmosphere at Meadow Lane at lunchtime today as the Notts County squad prepared for the journey south and an overnight stop for tomorrow afternoon's Wembley date with Brighton in the Second Division promotion playoff.
It's the most important game that all our lads, my lads and myself have played, obviously, and it's a league game to us, although I know it's an occasion to everybody else, but I've just told the lads that from now on we're preparing for an important league match.
The manager, who's likely to be back on Aston Villa's wanted list now, as well as being chased by Chelsea, travelled down alone. The rest of the squad went by coach. Last year, Notts won promotion to the Second Division via the playoffs. Now they hope to use the same route to make it to the First Division. And exclusively on Central tomorrow evening, highlights of Notts County's playoff final with Brighton at Wembley Stadium. Now on to today's cricket, and the West Indies are playing their final game before the first test with England next week. The Windies are at Leicester. Nigel Bryars kept the Quicks at bay, hitting 68 as Leicestershire moved on to 257 for 5. There may be only 5 days to go before the first test, but the West Indies still fielded a fairly strong side at Leicester. But the county, led by Nigel Bryars, weren't too keen on respecting reputations, although Patrick Patterson, working up a fair pace early on, had Tim Boone caught behind. Bryars, though, stayed put, and with Peter Hepworth and Laurie Potter both picking up half-centuries as well at a cold Grace Road, the West Indies have hardly had the preparation they'd have wanted for the Test match series. Other cricket now, 4 wickets apiece for both Greg Thomas and his Northamptonshire teammate Kevin Curran as Derbyshire were bowled out for 189. The Derbyshire player John Morris top scored with 87, Northants with a first innings lead of 59, and they're now 39 without loss in their second innings. And at Trent Bridge, Franklin Stevenson picks up the early wicket of Chris Smith. Hampshire now 169 for 3 in reply to Notts 189 all out. Now cycling, and the milk race is in the East Midlands today. Stage 6 of the Round Britain cycle race has brought the riders from Kettering to Leicester. Today's stage took the riders over 64 miles of Northamptonshire and Leicestershire before finishing in Leicester city centre. It was a 10-man breakaway 17 miles from home, but that was down to just 2 at the death. And the stage was won by the British amateur, Mark Gornall, just holding off Steve Douce in the sprint finish. Chris Walker, though, is still the overall leader in the yellow jersey, 18 seconds clear of Simeon Hempsall. Tomorrow, stage 7 of the milk race is around Birmingham. And that's it for tonight. Good luck to Notts County at Wembley tomorrow. Don't forget the highlights tomorrow night on Central. And we're back with our next news bulletin at 5 to 1 tomorrow lunchtime. In the meantime, have a very good evening.